So, as you think about your life, your clients' lives, like you've been a part of so many behind the scenes people that just make generosity their lane. What are the benefits? We're going to talk about like, what are we missing out on? But what does that bring to our life? Like, and I know that's not why we do it, but I feel like a deep peace. Like when I am thinking about others first and I'm not worried about my next cool kitchen sink, like I feel such an alignment with God. So, what are some benefits that you've seen in your own life or in the clients that you've served over the years?
So I'll use marriage as an example. I think generosity is a gift to our marriage. So what I mean by that is Rita and I, when we became empty nesters, we went through a marriage intensive at WinShape in Rome, Georgia, and it was put on by the Center for Relational Care out of Austin, Texas. So Courtney, the curriculum was called Emotional Fitness. It was full of scripture. And so I told the counselor when we started, there was three other couples in the group. I said, I don't feel comfortable with all this emotional language. He said, Boyd, keep your emotional training wheels on. You'll be fine. You know, you'll make it through. Rita and I'm telling you, Courtney, you know what the number one thing I learned at that intensive? It was to lead with comfort in my conversations with my wife and not lead with truth. Because I'm a truth guy. And it's like, Rita, no, that's not the truth. No, you don't need to be feeling that way. What I learned, Courtney, I need to be generous with my wife with comfort. Even if what she's feeling doesn't seem accurate or true, just for her to know I'm in it with her. As Brene Brown says, I'm sitting in it with her. And I'm like, hun, I can tell you're really, really hurting right now. And I'm in this with you. And I'm sorry you're going through this season right now. So learning to be generous with my comfort with my wife. But guess what? We came out of that intensive. Well, you know how it is. You get this training, you get all excited. We knew if we didn't have a generous community around us that had these same ideas and values, that it would kind of fade away. We wouldn't really implement it like we should. Three other couples we met that live right here in Roswell experienced the same thing. We've been together for 14. We meet every 3 weeks. We have dinner for an hour and a half, and then we talk about our marriages based on these ideas we learned through this emotional fitness. But
Wow.
we all had to commit to be generous with each other with hospitality so that we could get into each other's lives and really be vulnerable and transparent about our marriages. That's a game changer.
Wow. Okay. I think we need to do that. Ron and I are hitting that new phase. We still got one in the house, but you're like, whoa, you definitely need a reset on marriage. And you see why so many people get divorced at that stage. So that's insanely practical advice for me, but also just a great example of how generosity can play out. So let's talk about, I guess, what would our kids and our family miss out on if we just put that aside? It's like, we'll do all these other things and we'll chase success and get them all the right things, but we're just going to put generosity on the shelf. What will our families miss out on, you think?
Yeah, that's a great question. Do we have 30 more minutes? No.
Sure,
Uh,
sure.
so at the National Christian Foundation, you've heard this kind of tagline in our culture about the great wealth transfer. You know, that's talked about a lot. Trillions of dollars is going to be transferred over. Well, what NCF Georgia, the National Christian Foundation of Georgia, where I serve, we actually lead with this phrase, the great wisdom transfer. So, am I being generous with wisdom with my children? Because wealth without wisdom, at the very least, can be divisive. At the worst, it can be destructive. It can be relationally divisive. It can be It can destroy marriages. It can destroy. I mean, you've seen it. We've all seen it. So to me, money's like a loaded gun, and wealth is this huge responsibility. Am I going to pass along to my children the wisdom that Jesus talks about? You cannot serve God and money at the same time. You're going to hate one, you're going to love the other. So how can I as a parent model, and I think modeling is the key word, how can I model money and wealth and resources being used for the kingdom versus being a competitor to the kingdom?